I'm so excited. Welcome in, spooks. I have something so exciting to show you, to tell you all about, and if you've seen the title, which you obviously have because you're here, hi, thank you for being here, then you will know I have produced a TBW game. That is TBR, but it's to be written. I'm about to gamify my whole writing process to get me out of this writing slump, and I cannot wait. If I can make anything into a game or a challenge, I immediately love it 10 times more. So let's find that passion for writing again. Let's bring it back to my little inner soul, my inner core, because there was once a time when writing actually felt like it was my entire life. Let's get back to that. Maybe less intense. I do tend to do things quite intensely. Maybe I'll be half intense about this. I'm not going to spin this around for you just yet because let's travel back in time to when I received some exciting packages, and then I will walk you through the entire game, how it works, every tile on this, and then we might play it. How exciting! I hope you enjoy. I won't catch you at the end, but if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Bye! I don't want to sound evil. Don't look at my dress. Fully bent. Aren't we all? It is Pride Month after all. Let's see if this came out any better than the other print job. This one is on much thinner card. Oh, it's so bent. That's such a shame, because the print job's so good. These are just blank rules that I wanted to write in myself, but fully damaged. That's a shame, and that's not the print people's problem. Ooh, the print people's problem. It's not because of the print job, obviously. Oh, that looks so good. The quality's amazing. They've done such a good job. I'm so excited. The last component arrives tomorrow, so we might be able to play the game. For both of these, it cost me £6, £7 with shipping maybe. So we're not going to complain too much. But do not bend. Do not bend. Yay! Is the TBW game, and these cards all do something and mean something, and as we go along the board I will tell you what they mean as we get there. I have my rules here because this is new to me too, so I will go through every single tile, what it means, what happens, what the rule for that tile is. Okay, So I will have already said in the intro, but this is not like my TBR game where at the start of the month I play the whole game, get to the end, and then that explains what are we doing for the month. This is more of a play as you go sort of thing. So once I've explained what everything is, I'm going to roll my first dice, and that'll be my first go, and then I'll stop. And I won't get to move on until I've completed that task. Let's get the dice. Okay, dice and coin are ready for when we're ready to play, but let's talk through what everything means. Okay, we've got you zoomed in on the first kind of 9 tiles. So obviously you start on start. I don't feel like I need to explain that, but we start on start. This is called the flooded path. And the flooded path is your character's plan is going to change, or your plan for the next scene changes. So your path is flooded. You have to find a way around it. How do you adapt to these changes? Next, we have the ravine of rituals, which just means you're passing between 2 ritual cards. So we can now pick, if you land on this one, a ritual card. So our ritual cards are like tasks that you need to complete. I'm not going to go through all of them because that takes away the element of surprise. But for example, brainstorm. Brainstorm is where you would set a 10-minute timer, for example, and you would just write down as many ideas as you possibly can without stopping to think, to edit, to ponder, all of that sort of stuff. So it's just a way to help you move the story along. Let's pick a random one. Consult the Coven. Consult the Coven is one of my favourite ones that I've added in here, and this just means that you're going to write the next scene with friends. Bonus points if you can make them writer friends. So I do have a writing club that I go to with some friends, and that would be the perfect time to use that one. Let's pick a 3rd random one. Witching Hour. Witching Hour just means that you write your next scene at night. Okay, so those are just kind of your little tasks to help you along. Now, if I rolled a ritual card, I might want to roll again and get maybe a prompt for the scene whilst also doing the ritual. We're just going to play it by ear. So that's the ravine of rituals. Next, we just have a few of these numbers across the board, and this just means write that many words. And I will decide on the day, case by case, whether I want to write 100 words, for example, and write no more than 100 words, so exactly 100 words, and then walk away and have a break, or whether I'll be lenient with it. So that kind of is a little bit flexible. At the top here, you can just see it in the corner, we have a skull. And the skull is the curse cards. Now the curses are a little bit, as you would probably imagine, they are punishments. So these are the ones that you want to try and avoid. But let's have a look at what we've got. So I'll just show you a few examples. The thick fog descends. So you're on your journey, a thick fog descends. And that means your next scene, the pace has to slow right down whilst you make your way through the fog. So you have to write your next scene with 0 action. No action whatsoever, you just slow the pace right down. Let's get another example. Enter the distraction demon. So this is exactly what I was talking about when I was talking about the 100 words tile. When the distraction demon enters, you have to write exactly 100 words to the letter, to the word, to the dot, and then walk away for 10 minutes. You cannot edit as you go. You have to do 100 words and then walk away, and then come back to it. And just another one for an example, redacted. Redacted means that you type your next scene without doing any backspacing whatsoever. So spelling mistakes, grammatical errors, no editing whatsoever. If you can't think of a word, you just move on. Just do another quick one, bound in silence. Bound in silence means that there should be no dialogue at all in your next scene. Now obviously we're talking about drafting here, so if you want to go back at a later date and add in dialogue, if that works for the scene, then that's fine. But just to get you going, there is no dialogue when you write your next scene. So those are a few curses. Let's move on. Next you come back down the board and we come to Keystone Quarry. You introduce in the next scene a new location for your main character or your side characters, whatever you're currently writing, because introducing something new could become a keystone location in your story. So that's your challenge for that one. Next we come down and again there is a rituals card. We've already gone over those ones. Next we have a 350, so again you write 350 words. Whether I want to keep it to the letter or not, I don't know. And I think you can just see at the bottom here, I'll show you, there is the spells and potion tile. So spells and potions are the ones where I have the most cards. These are like my prompt cards. So these will be very helpful in moving the story along, hopefully. Let's have a look at some examples. Memory mist. Memory mist means for your next scene, your character has to forget something. It can be important, it can be minor. They may never remember, but it has to be something forgotten. Next we have a deathly nightshade. This one probably won't surprise you, but somebody in the next scene has to die. The curse of concealment. Somebody in the next scene is keeping a secret, and it's up to you whether they reveal it, whether they're trying to hide it, whether they're doing a really bad job of it. That is down to you. Let's pick one more random one. Perspective poison. Perspective poison means in the next scene you need to completely switch up your POV or your tense. It could be either, just to mix things up. And again, like I said earlier, you can go back and edit and go back to what it originally was. It's just to get your brain working and to get you out of a writing slump. So you can write in first person, second person, third person, omnipresent narrator. You can write present tense, past tense, future tense, whatever you fancy. That is your poison, you pick it. Okay, I think I'll need to adjust because you won't be able to see, but I also need to explain a diversion you might want to take. So now we're moving slightly more into the middle of the board. You have two options. We went through, when you came down from Keystone Quarry, you landed on a rituals card. You had the choice to either go down, and you'll just be able to see it here, to the Spells and Potion, which is your Valley of Valor. And that's because it's very brave to go the long route, because whilst you might get spells and potions, ritual, you may also have to write 1,000 words in one sitting. So if you choose to take the Valley of Valor and you are brave, well, I praise you. But alternatively, you may choose to land on a rituals card and go Wanderer's Way. Wanderer's Way is a nice, easy shortcut to the top of the board. So instead of doing all these tiles down here, you will just go Wanderer's Way straight to 200. So your next sprint will be writing 200 words. So should you choose to take that, you're going to jump halfway across the board. But if you were being brave, let's see what you might end up with. So we've already gone through the Spells and Potion. In the Valley of Valor, again, you may land on the 1,000 word sprint. Then there is a Rituals card, then another Spells and Potion, and then we land on what is called the Seismic Shift. Let me see if you can see that better. This is the Seismic Shift. The Seismic Shift means we need to shake things up. We need to shift our character's perspective, we need to shift our narrator's perspective, we need to shift the plot, we can add a plot twist in here. Anything to shake your story up, this is where you're going to add it. And as I will say with pretty much everything on here, if you want to go back at a later date and edit it out and you don't like what happened, that's fine. We're just playing with things at the moment. As it is a game. So after Seismic Shift, you go up to where you'll meet your Wanderer's Way friends on the 200 word sprint. You then land on the Curse card. We've already covered the Curse card up in the top left corner. The next one is, let me get you in frame, a 500. So from the Curse card, you come along to a 500 word sprint. You then go down to a Rituals card. You come across to what is called the Revision Room. This is where we're going to stop drafting. We're going to go back to an older scene and we're going to edit. My least favorite thing to do. From Revision Room, we come down to what is called Spell Stream. Here is the stream, and it's because it goes between two Spells and Potions tiles. So we're coming from Revision Room, we're going down to Spells and Potions, then we go all the way down to Lorekeeper's Library. Lorekeeper's Library is, as you can probably imagine, the library in which we keep all of the lore and history of our novel. So if you land on this tile, you need to go back to your Bible, your spreadsheet, your notes, whatever you have written down. If you're a pantser, it's time to plot. And you're going to research, make notes, and work out the history of your world. So you'll be doing some world building, or your characters, their childhood, anything that builds the lore of the story. After the Lorekeeper's Library, we travel down to the 350 word sprint. Then we go on to Stranger's Tavern. Stranger's Tavern is where we're going to meet some strangers, funnily enough, and we're going to introduce a new character in our next scene. Once we've left the tavern, we are going up to Spells and Potions, And then as we're getting very near the end, we have a little danger here of a 1,000 word sprint, and also the danger of a curse card. And then finally, we've reached the finish line. When we reach the finish line, let me readjust, we can then pick what is called a charm card. And this is basically your reward. You've completed the whole board game, you've got to the end, you must have done lots of writing, lots of sprints, lots of prompts, lots of scenes, lots of drafting and lots of editing, and you deserve a reward. So let's take a look at a few of the rewards. Reader's Retreat. Now, in an ideal world, this would mean go and stay in a little cottage somewhere or a cabin in the woods, but let's be honest, we're not made of money. So Reader's Retreat can just be spending a long period of time reading. So that's as long as you can afford to give to reading. For me, it could be I take a day off work and I spend the whole day reading. It could be just a Saturday afternoon. It could be an hour on my lunch. Anything in which you can dedicate your entire time to reading. Let's have a look at another one. Talisman of Treats. I mean, as it says on the card, you're going to buy yourself a little treat, or you can bake yourself a little treat, whatever you fancy. Have another one. Fantastical Fable is where you can buy yourself, or you can take from the library, one brand new fiction novel of your choice. Let's just have a look at one more. Oh, we did Reader's Retreat. Scroll of Serenity. The Scroll of Serenity is any kind of self-help. That doesn't mean reading an entire non-fiction self-help book, because that's not for everybody. It could be reading some meditation tips, it could be meditating, it could be listening to a podcast, something that makes you laugh, something that makes you feel good, watching a comedy show, anything that makes you happy, feel better about yourself and your life. That is the Scroll of Serenity. So now we've gone through all the rules for the game, let's roll the dice and see what we get for our first prompt. So first roll. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I landed on Keystone Quarry, almost a curse. So my next scene that I need to write, which I think will be in a few days' time, I've got my writing club, so I'll be consulting my coven. I need to introduce a new location, and that's actually such a good prompt for me because a lot of my story currently is just set in a city. So it goes between a workplace, a city centre and an apartment, so it would be very interesting to bring in an entirely new location. Maybe the outskirts of a city, I could go countryside. It would be very interesting to see how I can make that work for my story. So I am going to roll again, just because I want to see if I can get some kind of prompt or ritual or writing sprint to add to that. So we can kind of play it however we want. And okay, I was going to say I am going to go this way rather than Wanderer's Way, which would have got me nothing anyway. Wanderer's Way is just a relaxing time. However, coming down towards the Valley of Valor, 3 tiles gets me to spells and potions, which is exactly what I wanted. So this prompt, which I am now about to show you, is going to be the prompt that I use whilst I'm writing a new location. And the prompt is Potion of Peace. Interesting, because this is not a very peaceful novel that I'm writing, but if I'm taking my main character into the countryside, maybe she can have a really peaceful moment. That might be quite interesting to change the entire tone of my novel. So I'm going to make sure I take a photo to remember what I need to write, and let's get to writing.
The place is loud, but yeah, you cut through the noise. I wish I knew what you were thinking of. One last drink before it's time to go home. I had my chance, but I screwed it up once more. It's been years and it still kills me. Your dynamite so pretty. Hold on, darling, don't let me down. Hope that you feel it too, just give me a sign. 'Cause I know it ain't over. You feel it too, right? So one time
We're not going to need the charm cards because it's very unlikely we're going to get to the end today, and that's because we are on We got to Keystone Quarry last time, and then we got down to spells and potions. I may still need the rules because it's new. Okay, let's roll. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a 200-word sprint I need to do next time. Let's find out what sort of thing we're going to be writing. 3. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, I get a rituals. I might even then roll again because this is just what I need to do kind of whilst I'm writing. Witching hour. This is perfect because I kind of want to write tonight, as I said. So I can write this evening. I need to write 200 words. Let's roll again. 2. 1, 2. Spells and potions. Perfect. So we need some kind of prompt as to what we're going to be writing this evening for our 200-word scene. Drink of dreams. So this prompt means my next scene, it either needs to be a character in my story dreaming something, or a dream that they have, or recounting a dream they genuinely had. Do you know what I mean? That I'm differentiating between an actual dream they have when they're asleep or a dream they have like a hope for their future. Anything to do with dreams is the next prompt. But I do need to point out this is not nightmares. There is actually another nightmare prompt. This has to be something good, which, as I said last time, is a challenge because there is a lot of doom, gloom and horror in my novel. So this will be good to see what my main character actually dreams about when she's dreaming about good things. So I imagine that will be quite a short writing prompt for me. 200 words is pretty straightforward. I can do that this evening. So while I'm here and everything is set up, I'm going to roll again and do 2 writing sprints this evening. So for my second writing sprint, we're actually very, very close to the end. Maybe I do need the charms. 3. 1, 2, 3. Stranger's Tavern. So for Stranger's Tavern, I need to introduce a brand new character to my story. We will roll once more. Oh, 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have finished. That's so much shorter than I thought it was going to be. I guess it depends what you land on. It could be different every time. Like this one go could have taken me weeks. Like if I had landed on more of the higher numbers, that would have taken a long time. Who knows how the game will go forward. Let's give ourselves a treat that we can only claim when we have finished both of these writing sprints tonight. Scroll of Serenity, and what that means is anything to do with self-help, self-care. I can listen to a podcast that makes me happy, a TV show that makes me happy. I can read a little bit of a non-fiction book if I want to. Anything that brings me some kind of peace and serenity, that's what that card means. And this actually comes at a very good time because I am in the middle of reading a non-fiction book, and whilst I'm not loving it, it is self-help, and it's maybe more reminding me of things I need to remember rather than teaching me something new. So, to recap what we need to do in this evening's writing sprint, I need to write 200 words in the evening, the witching hour if you will, and I need to be writing a scene about dreams. Then the second sprint I need to do is introducing a stranger, because we visited the Stranger's Tavern. And then once I have completed that, I've got the Scroll of Serenity and can listen to any kind of feel-good, positive media. Let's get writing.
Hold on, darling, don't let me go. I wanna see through this, so just hold me close. 'Cause I know it ain't over. You feel it too, right? So until next time. Lost in the crowd, but yeah, you drown out the sound. I wish I knew what you were thinking about.